Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is another episode of Story Time. Today, let's look at this. Living on past glories. Living in the past. Yes. Again, living on past glories. That is, you live in the past. What do I mean here? Someone sits and is thinking and reflecting about past achievement and successes, and you keep longing for them instead of struggling to adapt to new changes and opportunities. You sit down, you're thinking only about those past things, those achievements, and as you are thinking about them, you don't even have that zeal for new challenges. Why do people dwell on the past? You see, people dwell on the past because they are very nostalgic. They evoke positive emotions. Because when they talk about what you did in the 60s, oh, life been sweet that time, eh? Oh, one bottle of beer between at 35 francs. Oh, this. Oh, Massa man, the waka, so, tin the waka. Yes, nostalgia. You see, people find comfort in the routines and familiarities of the past. People are more comfortable with that. They don't want to explore. One thing too that makes people always try to dwell on the past is because they don't want to confront the current difficulties of life. They just want things to be the same. Another thing is people fear change. And I use the situation in our country. People fear change. People cling to a particular system, way of life, to positions. When they hear about a little change, it starts affecting them. Because of the kind of benefits and undue benefits that they are deriving, let the status quo always be maintained. You are director, you are budget controller, let it be for 15, 20 years. When people dwell on living in the past, they have their own consequences like anything on earth. This procedure hinders growth. It covers up opportunities that many people would have been exposed to. When you dwell on the past, it prevents you even from learning new skills, to adapt even to a new environment. It blocks people from reaching their full potentials. Because when you only be living in the past, thinking about the past, your mind doesn't have any sense of projection into the future. Let me give you a few examples about this living in the past. I am talking particularly to people of age, even though the youths too are concerned. I use a personal example. Being a man of the media, I was compelled to move from the analog world in which we lived to the Android world today. And most of you people out there, because if not, you don't even be able to use your phone. When we're talking about phones, yesterday is a different situation today because everything is so digital. And no matter your age, you must at least learn how to press stop to answer a call. You must at least press stop how to make a call, at least that one. You hear TikTok, you hear Instagram, you hear Facebook, you hear WhatsApp. Massa, you must adapt to, otherwise you are knocked out of the game. You can't even communicate. I went to a phone repairer. And when I said, make sure you install me TikTok, 2 young people, they jumped up. And I asked why. He said, Pa, it's very strange. You old man, what you want to do with TikTok? Bushfalla parents. Sometimes when we travel abroad like that, we are bored at home when the children go to work. We need to have at least ideas on how to change the various channels. Not that you wouldn't be bored, but it will reduce the level of boredom. You know how to, change the channels. You know how to operate the television. You know how to operate other gadgets. My people, look, those of us of age, we're traveling to airports, through airports. We have to be, to adapt. Sometimes changing only your flights, sometimes moving from one place to another. Then look at when you come on these rolling staircases. You need to adapt, oh. If not, it will be difficult to cope in some of these environments. Tell me, when you go to supermarkets and so on out there, you need to know how to use the vending machine, how to put your coin, and how to get what you want. Your children will not be doing it for you all the time. That is also learning something new. That is also widening your horizon and your scope. You go and you sit down, people are conversing. Some people are always saying, yesterday I was. Yesterday I was. It was yesterday. Why don't you say, today I am? Tomorrow I want to be. You are only always talking about yesterday. You were top class. Your father was, you were this, you were that. You get even some elderly people sitting and telling you, when we were in secondary school those days, I used to beat all of them in the class. I'll be in the first 5. They will not even be among the first 30. But today you are complaining because those people who were not as good as you were in class took to new challenges, adapted to new skills, worked hard and got more mature. And by the time you were in university and leaving university, they were even better than you. Here people sit, I had 10 papers in O-level, now I began only 4. But that's your general manager. That's your director. He had 4 at that time. And he recognized that he had 4 or 5 O-levels, 2 A-levels. But then he worked hard and adapted himself to the new environment. You will sit down, he's your boss, and you keep complaining. You go and see somewhere. See that man will not be even pass one test for class. Oh, sir, you must evolve. The people have evolved. And they have evolved. And mind you, that even in that secondary school, you might have been leading those guys because some people went to secondary school too young and very childish. And they don't know even what they were doing in secondary school. But as they grew, they matured and learned, got themselves into their new environment. They shot up to the sky. You hear people. My father was SDO. With my papa, Bibina Chapia. And so, my mother is one of those first women when I did nursing in England. And so, you are talking about people who have evolved, people who have battled with life, and have become better than you in terms of conditions. They're holding good positions which they merit. You will sit with people, they tell you, say, Master, look at that one. Where they not be fit. That time my papa is driver. You've heard those things. Keep living there in the past now, Jare. People multiply, change, adapt, and they beat you. You come even to a town like Boya and other towns. You see people who were, with no good education. But because of the University of Boya, because of the University of this where they are working, the people suddenly change and get into their new environment. Before you realize, somebody who was Chapia somewhere, he has a degree already in his pocket. Before you realize, that person has a master's. Before you realize, that person has a PhD. You see them talking, for 1960, that man be the Chapia. For 1960, maybe the cut flower for compa. You lie yourself, master. There are boys those days in secondary school. When we came to Boya for certain events, for them to be able to drink cold water, they had to go to your house in Jare, stand by the hedge, the flower hedge. You go and take cold water. Had they seen cold water before? Have they ever seen a fridge? You come and cross the hedge, and you give them cold water, they drink. Then you quickly go, say, give me quickly, I go put them back for fridge. Or you take them to the boys' quarters. And with time, these people have taken the challenges of life and evolved. And they get better than you in life. You see that one themselves. Maybe they can't drink water for we hedge. Maybe they drink water for the hedge now. Sit there and be marking time. Leave your comfort zone if you want to progress. One thing you should not do to yourself, don't be comparing your current situation with your past successes. No. Let your past successes only be things to inspire you. You look behind and say, Nami this, where be this super goalkeeper? This is this. No, what you mean me? And then that one is a launch pad for you. But don't be comparing. You compare, it will be depressing you. Depressing, and you just find yourself going back and back and back. One thing you should do in life to avoid this is forgive yourself. Learn to forgive yourself for mistakes that you have made. Forgive yourself. There is nobody on earth who has not made a mistake. If you sit there and you made a mistake, say, these mistakes are taking me now up. Remember, yesterday is not today. Today, you work on it, it will always take you into tomorrow. But it is taking you into tomorrow with boost from what you knew and had yesterday. We concluded today. And please, your own stories too about our episodes. Send your stories, go to the comment section, indicate, and we are going to get to you by every means. Indicate, please. Like, comment, and share, and finally, subscribe. Always be tuned to Story Time. We shall keep the episodes rolling.